And one of the things that I discovered, you had a really nice view on laziness that I wanted to share with the listeners too.
Yeah.
So when like an entrepreneur say like, oh, I'm just, I'll take off a week because, I feel I cannot do it. I'm feeling lazy, like all this kind of self-judgment.
Yeah.
What's your perspective on this word related to businesses and entrepreneurs?
Yeah. And I think that before I even answer this question, I think that I need to point out that this is not that I'm indebted to a different culture for this one, because the African culture that I grew up in is so warm. It's so welcoming. It's so personable. And so, and one of the things that kind of is the backdrop of that is everyone's kind of doing their best, and we're all struggling. We're all making this up as we go along. And Africa is just such a beautiful place, and there's so much that it can teach us.
Would you say there's more empathy and like self-acceptance in Africa?
For sure. And so what I do, especially when I'm working with clients, is whenever I hear judgment show up, or condemnation, or some form of moralistic language, right? Good versus bad, something like that. I really go, I want to separate myself from those categories, and I want to ask what's behind it. And so in the question of laziness, I never think that laziness is a diagnosis. I'm serious.
It's not in the
in the DSM.
No,
it's not. Of course it's not. Laziness is not a diagnosis. Laziness is a symptom. And what
do you mean by that?
Yeah. So what we often find is that people, and this is always the case, when people are doing something, there's a reason behind it. They may not be able to explicitly tell you what that reason is, but if you dig in enough to their story, to their life, you'll find out that they have a reason for the way that they're doing things. And so when it comes to laziness, oftentimes laziness is a self-protective measure.
Yeah.
It's that in the past, they took action, and that action didn't result in positive outcomes. Yeah. And so they learned through that sequence of events that, hey, when I take action, nothing good comes. And so now we look at them and we go, you're not taking action. You're lazy.
That's maybe how maybe it's more like self-judgment.
Yeah. I mean, on its face, it's true. Yeah, they're not taking action.
Yeah.
But why?